Hey, tons of NAIA basketball over the weekend, and also we have Dougie Peoples with a courtside interview we did Saturday night. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. Wow, what a long weekend. Coming home from Caldwell, Idaho on Sunday. Started out with ice and then snow and then got down the hill into Pendleton. The weather looked good, and then there was a wreck and they closed the freeway. Wow. The things I do for this, the things I do for you to entertain you. Why don't we start with the number one team in the country, Arizona Christian? On Friday, they played Justice College. They beat them 102-58. Now, this was an exhibition game, so Arizona Christian stays at 9-1. Arizona Christian is going to play Montana Tech in about a week on December 16th. Mark your calendar. Two great teams, two completely different styles. It's going to be very entertaining. As I said, mark your calendar. Elsewhere in the GSAC, not much action. Non-conference over there. Benedictine Mesa won. Just a few non-conference games coming up. That conference is starting to wrap into Christmas mode. University of the Cumberlands, they're the only Mid-South team in action this weekend. They fell again, fourth straight loss. You know, it's a great program, great coach. They will turn it around, but right now, boy, they are in a funk. Rio Grande defeated Cumberland's 83-78. Congratulations to Rio Grande. They are much improved this season. Keep an eye out for them. Eric Butler, he had 23 points, 6 rebounds. Trey Robertson, who has played very well for Rio Grande so far this year, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. So the University of Cumberlands, they go to 9-4, and they're going to play an exhibition with Northern Kentucky on Wednesday. Here in the Mid-South, not a lot here. Cumberland also defeated Blue Mountain, and then that's going to be an exhibition. And then this is a good game, Tougaloo and Freed Hardeman on Tuesday, December 10th. So on Tuesday, that's a good non-con. Kind of tell us where those two conferences are at. LSU Alexandria, they beat Paul Quinn on Saturday. Cashy Nat, 16 points, 3 rebounds. And Caleb Pouncey, 14 points, 5 rebounds. So LSUA, they go to 9-1, and they're going to host Houston Tillotson on Thursday. Our Lady of the Lake, they hit that top 25 curse, I call it. You break into the top 25. How many times do you see that happening? Then boom, you get beat. They were 10-0 coming into this game. They lost to Houston Tillotson 75-66 for Houston Tillotson. Charles Hallman, 14 points, 14 rebounds. That's a big double-double. Jackson Bias, 19 points, 4 rebounds. So Our Lady of the Lake, they go to 10-1. They play at Texas A&M San Antonio next. That's this week. So just taking a quick look at the conference there, you can see the wins. North American fell. Texas College won. LSU Shreveport won. Going over to the standings real quick, you can see right here Our Lady of the Lake and LSU Alexandria and Xavier all have 1 loss. Texarkana has 2. So a couple big games on Thursday. Texas A&M Texarkana, that is a mouthful, is going to play at Xavier. That's going to be a big game in the standings. And this Texas A&M San Antonio at Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake wants to get right back in that win column. They have to keep pace with LSU Alexandria. They got to win. They can't let them run away from them. The College of Idaho, they won a couple games this weekend. On Friday, they played Southern Oregon in Caldwell there. They beat them 75-61. Stratton Rogers, he had 15 points, 8 rebounds. Dougie Peoples had 17 points. And then on Saturday, still in Caldwell, they defeated Oregon Tech 74-66. These are some of the biggest weekends in the Cascade Conference when College of Idaho and Eastern Oregon travel down to OIT and Southern Oregon, and then vice versa. A lot of eyes on this weekend. So big wins for College of Idaho. After this game, we were able to talk to Dougie Peoples. I'm going to play that for you in just a second. But I do have to mention, in one of my interviews that I put up on X this weekend, I called Johnny Radford. I called him Johnny Rogers. They have a player, Stratton Rogers. Anyway, I apologize, Johnny. It was just a mistake. Somebody pointed it out to me on X, and I really apologize. But those players at College of Idaho, very gracious, gave us some time right there on the court after the game. So let's take a listen to Dougie Peoples. He had 17 points against Southern Oregon. He had 13 points in the win against Oregon Tech on Saturday, and we talked to him right after the Oregon Tech game.
Hey, I got Dougie Peoples here, College of Idaho Yote basketball. I was just asking Alex, this is always a war here, this Southern Oregon Tech weekend. You guys got the sweep. Talk about your team.
Yeah, I think OIT and SOU are two of the toughest teams in the conference, and we knew it was going to be a tough weekend coming in, and it just feels really good to get it done, especially playing OIT, what they did to us last time on our home court, and it just felt really good to get the win today, and I feel like we played together, and it just felt really good out there.
Every time they'd edge up on you, and you guys were really effective at being able to get that key possession, that key score, to keep them back at bay there in the second half.
Yeah.
Talk about your team's toughness and how you were able to pull together and keep them from overcoming you like that.
Yeah, I mean, we all love each other on this team, and it was awesome. We were making defensive adjustments throughout the whole game because, they're a great team and they're going to make shots, but it was all about our adjustments. And it was really cool to see us just make adjustments on the fly, and it just was awesome seeing that we all had each other's back. We were all flying at the ball. Someone else would fly at it. It was just awesome to see, and it's fun playing defense like that with the people that you love and just knowing that they have your back.
We got the old journeyman over here, Drew Wyman. How confident are you with him with the ball?
Yeah, he's just like a rock on our team. Like, if we ever need a bucket, we can go right to Drew, and it's a really good chance that he's going to make a move. He elevates just over everybody, has that nice touch, and he's just a great guy and fills us all with confidence too. I'm really fortunate to get to play with all of these guys, but Drew's pretty special.
I was a little worried about him tonight. I saw his facial expression change once.
He's a fiery guy. He's kind of I think he uses it to help him pump him up too.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Hey Dougie, big win, big sweep. Thanks a lot for giving me some time.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot to Dougie Peoples and to all the College of Idaho players we were able to speak to there in Caldwell. All the interviews that we do go up on X and also on YouTube. So if you ever are wondering where are these interviews he did with some players, or you want to find it, sometimes it's hard to find on X. It's really easy just to go into YouTube, go into the season 6, and everything is right there. Sticking with the Cascade Conference, LC State, they won 2 games this weekend. They were able to sweep. They were in Seattle on Friday night, and they defeated Northwest 71-63. Makari Morris, he had 20.7 rebounds, and Alton Hamilton, 22 points, 13 rebounds. And then on Saturday, they went over to Olympia, and they defeated the Gooey Ducks, the Evergreen Gooey Ducks, 69-53. John Lustig, 10.6 rebounds. Alton Hamilton, 26.7 rebounds. So Coach Swanson at Evergreen, you must have done something right. You're one of the first guys I've seen hold Alton Hamilton to less than a double-double. Alton Hamilton is one of the best players in the country. He really doesn't get the credit because he plays in the late time zone, doesn't get as much attention as some of the teams in the Midwest, but Alton Hamilton is the real deal. So LC State, they're 7-1, and they're going to travel to Walla Walla on Thursday. Oregon Tech, on Friday, they played Eastern Oregon up in La Grande. They defeated Eastern Oregon 85-81. The Owls had fallen behind by 14 with 9 minutes to go. Jay Elmore right here, the archer, he came in with 9 minutes to go and hit 5 threes to overcome the lead and carry the Owls to the victory. Cam Osborne, 19 points, 5 rebounds. And of course, I already mentioned they lost at College of Idaho on Saturday. So the Owls go to 5-3. Big matchup with Southern Oregon at Danny Miles Court on Saturday. So here's the other games in the Cascade Conference. Multnomah beat Bushnell. That was a bit of a surprise. And then on Saturday, Corbin beat Multnomah. So Multnomah split. Bushnell split because they beat Warner Pack. So let's take a look at the standings real quick. LC State, College of Idaho, and Corbin, and right now we're all 0 losses. And I've seen all the teams in the conference play now, and I really think this is going to tighten up quite a bit. And I think it's going to be quite a horse race. There's a lot of parity, just like there is around the country. So this weekend on Friday, a game to keep an eye on is Bushnell and Corbin. Those are the Valley, the two teams from the Valley. They're rivals. That's the word I was looking for. They're the Valley rivalry. College of Idaho is going to go over to Eastern Oregon. Again, that's a rivalry. They're only 2.5 hours apart up the freeway. And then Southern Oregon, Oregon Tech, same thing, 100-year rivalry. They're only 60 miles apart over the Cascade Mountains. It might be only 60 miles, but it's 6,000 when it's snowing. But that rivalry is very, very heated. That gym will be packed up, and it'll be a big game. So some big games coming up in this weekend in the Cascade Conference. The aforementioned Montana Tech, they played St. Mary's, Alberta this weekend on, Friday. They defeated them 79-62. Michael 15 points, 11 rebounds, and Braden Cook, 24 points, 5 rebounds. Montana Tech just keeps rolling. They're at 10-0. They're going to play an exhibition at Montana on Tuesday. Not much else going on in the Frontier. The only other game really is right here. Carroll fell to Dickinson State, and Montana State Northern beat this same St. Mary's on Saturday. The Frontier hasn't kicked off any conference play yet. Let's jump over to the GSAC. Northwestern was idle this weekend. Dort, another team that just, boy, they look good. They're nice. So look tonight, they're number 1 in the Massey right now. Dort 100. They beat Mount Marty 73. Lucas Lorenzen 24 points, 5 rebounds. Bryce Kopic, he had 25 points, 5 rebounds. They go to 12-0. And they're going to have a show. They're going to go over to Briarcliff on Wednesday. So can they keep it rolling on the road? Morningside, they're 9-1 now. They defeated Midland on the road, 86-75. Joey Scoff, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's just a bucket, that guy. Aiden Vanderloo, 17 points. But look at this matchup. Northwestern is going to be in Sioux City, taking on the Mustangs in the stable on Wednesday. Do you think there'll be a crowd at Morningside? I'm guessing, yeah. That's going to be a great game. So in the rest of the G-Pack, the games this weekend, Dakota Wesleyan got the win at Hastings. Concordia beat Briarcliff. That was a big win for Concordia. They're trying to get back in that race. Dort won and Waldorf. So let's look at the standings. Dort's 4-0, Northwestern, Morningside's 5-1, and Dakota Wesleyan is 3-2. I haven't seen this much separation this early in the G-Pack. I'm expecting this to separate out more. It looks like there's going to be 2 groups. Usually there's 7 or 8 teams competing, but it seems like there's going to be a split, and we'll just have to watch that. We mentioned Northwestern this is on Wednesday. Northwestern's going to be at Morningside. Mark your calendar. You're going to be busy because I've told you to mark your calendar now 3 times. Have you written them all down? We're getting into the heavy part of the season here. Wait till January. Wait till February. Central Baptist, they defeated Missouri Baptist 83-74. Sage Bourbon, just an unbelievable season for Central Baptist. 27 points, 5 rebounds in this win. Wade Williams, a name we haven't called for a while. He's a fiery wing, one of the best shooters around when he gets hot. 16 points, 8 rebounds. So Central Baptist, they go to 9-2, and they're going to play. They're going to play Mission this week on Tuesday. I think it's on Tuesday. They play Mission next. So let's take a look at the rest of the American Midwest Conference. You can see the scores there. Columbia won. They beat Williams Baptist. So let's look at the standings here. So Columbia stands at 4-0. Central Baptist 3-0. Williams Woods, Crowley's Ridge. But this is the group right here. The next games in this conference are on Thursday. Keep an eye on this Columbia at William Woods. That's probably that's probably the game that has the most opportunity to change the standings on Wednesday. Let's jump over to the Sooner. Langston, you talk about escaping. Langston defeated Nelson 64-63. So C.J. Hall put Nelson ahead, 13 seconds to go. Joshua Smith, there was a layup. Somebody missed. Joshua Smith got the rebound, went up to lay it in. They call a foul. There was like no time left on the clock. Joshua Smith goes to the line and hits 2 for the Langston win over Nelson. So Langston goes to 8-2. I tell you, that's some good living right there. They're going to be at the College of the Ozarks on Thursday. Also in the Sooner, Oklahoma City, they fell to Wayland Baptist. Wayland Baptist, they struggled a little bit early, but man, they're looking really good right now. This was another pretty exciting game. Wayland won at 79-77, but Quentin Coleman, he ended up with 31 points, 4 rebounds, and he hit a three-pointer with 2 seconds to go that ended up giving Wayland the win. Dylan McDougall, he had 10 points and 4 rebounds. Oklahoma City, they're 4-0, and they're going to host Mid-America Christian on Saturday. Take a look at the rest of the Sooner real quick. John Brown won. Really no surprises here. Wayland won. Langston, Texas Wesleyan. So let's look at the standings. Wayland and John Brown are the 2 teams with 1 loss. Langston has 2, and then you start to separate as we go down. Oklahoma City now is 4-4. They're getting behind the 8 ball a little bit there. They're going to have to win some games. Wayland, this is on, Thursday. Wayland Baptist is going to be at Texas Wesleyan. Key game, Central Christian at John Brown. Keep an eye on this game. These 2 teams, one's 4-3, one's 5-1. Wayland Baptist is certainly rooting for Central Christian. That's what. Okay, so let's jump over to the Crossroads. Huntington, they had a couple losses, but they're back in the W column now. They beat Mount Vernon 82-71. Landon Jordan, 20 points, 10 rebounds for the double-double. Lane Sparks, he just lit it up. 30 points, 6 rebounds. They won this game 82-71. They were in the Platte. They play New College of Florida. I think they're going down to Florida. Get back there. They play New College of Florida next. I don't see the date. It's later next week, next Saturday. That'll be a good game. New College of Florida, we'll talk about them another day, but that program is one you're going to have to keep an eye on. It's a first year, but they're putting something special together there. Indiana Wesleyan also gets back in the W column. They beat Spring Arbor in Marion, 89-83. This was a win. This was a must-win for Indiana Wesleyan. They were 0-3 in conference. Griffin Cleawer, he came to play. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And Cademan Bontrager, he's there to play. He's all the time, that guy. Anyway, 21.7 rebounds. So they go to 7-3 and 1-3 in conference. They're going to host East-West on Monday. That's a non-conference game. They're going to play there in the Lucky. Grace College, they beat Taylor. That's a good win for Grace. Taylor's a tough program. They beat them 88-76. Gage Sefton, 24 points, 8 rebounds. Ian Scott, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. You got to watch Ian Scott play before he graduates. You got to watch him. One of the top athletes in NAIA basketball. So they go to 8-3, and they're going to play IU East on Friday. Bethel just keeps winning. They beat St. Francis in Mishawaka. They beat them 95-78. Trent Edwards, 30 points, 5 rebounds. Jameer Jefferson, he's a guy I've been more and more impressed with his game throughout the year. I've told you several times. Last year he was basically known as a defensive guy, and he's really starting to score the ball. On Saturday, he had 22.6 rebounds, and so Bethel is gonna play Florida Memorial on Monday the 16th. I think they're going to Florida also. Everybody's going to get out of Indiana and go to Florida. So let's look at the crossroads real quick. So Huntington, we told you, but Marion beat Goshen in Indiana Wesleyan. So here's the standings. Bethel's 4-0. Spring Arbor and Grace and St. Francis all have one loss. So again, we're almost separating into two groups here. There's not a league game again for a while. I think it's after the first of the year they get back to league. In the Heart of America, Baker wasn't in action, but the Heart was. Missouri Valley won. Central Methodist. You can see the scores here. William Penn fell to Graceland. That was a big game in the conference. Peru State was a victor. So let's see where we're at here in the standings. Baker, of course, continues to lead. Graceland won that big game over William Penn. A tough loss for William Penn and Peru State. Central Methodist. This is, again, the top group here we have to keep our eye on. So their next games are Wednesday. Keep an eye on Central Methodist versus Park. That's an important one in the standings, as is Graceland versus Grandview. Graceland's trying to keep pace with Baker. Then Baker just doesn't look like they want to give up the lead, so Graceland needs to keep winning as well. Going over to the KCAC, Oklahoma Wesleyan, they fell to Sterling on Saturday, 71-68. Jaden Garrison, 24 points, 3 rebounds. Mooch Austin, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Forget what the letters say there. But Oklahoma Wesleyan goes to 7-3, and they are going to go to Southwestern College on Wednesday. Take a look at the rest of the KCAC. You can see the scores here. No big surprises. Ottawa won. Let's look at the standings. So St. Mary is 5-0. Sterling is 4-1. Ottawa and Friends and Oklahoma Wesleyan. So this is a real dogfight. I didn't realize Sterling was having such a good year until I really looked at it. They're 9-2. Of course, they're 4-1 in conference, but they're 9-2. I mean, remember a couple of years ago, I don't think they won 1 or 2 games, so they've done a great job with a turnaround. 9-2, that's pretty good. They're competing there in that KCAC right now. So Oklahoma Wesleyan's going to play Southwestern. Keep an eye on that. St. Mary is going to be at Avila. I think those are the most consequential games going on that affect the standings right here at the top of the. So University of Mobile, they fell to Tennessee Southern, 98-91. Mike Bell, 31 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Vito Vujovic, 26 points, 8 rebounds. So Mobile now is 8-3. They're going to play Truett McDonald on Saturday. So here's most of these were non-conference. There was only that was the only conference game, Mobile and Tennessee Southern. So Dalton State continues to lead the league, 3-0. Mobile 3-1. You can see them here down to Middle Georgia. Middle Georgia is going to play Dalton State on Friday. Keep an eye there. This is a non-conference game, but this has some interest. Freed Hardeman Life is going to go to Freed Hardeman. Only non-conference games in the Sun this weekend. You probably already saw these scores. Right now, Ave Maria and Kaiser are undefeated in conference. It's still pretty tight. And it's still pretty early. Let's take a look at the rest of the conferences. Don't have anybody in the top 25. In the Hoosier, You really want to keep an eye on Lawrence Tech, Indiana Tech. Madonna got a win. That was good to see. And Lords. I'll show you right here. So Indiana Tech is 5-0. Lords, Cornerstone, they didn't play. Cornerstone, these teams right here are separating. Indiana Tech, Lords, Cornerstone, Lawrence Tech. So this weekend, Lawrence Tech is going to play Rochester Christian. They're better than their record. Keep an eye on that game. And then Lords at Indiana Tech. Yeah, mark the date. Yep, go to Fort Wayne, go over to Indiana Tech, and watch Lords play Indiana Tech. That's going to be a very good game. See, they're both undefeated in league. Okay, let's go to the Appalachian Conference. I'm sure you're going to have to mark your date for something here. This weekend, Bryan won. They beat Milligan. Reinhardt's looking better. They're winning a lot of games now. CIU beat Johnson. This was a huge game in the Appalachian. Pikeville wins, as does Tennessee Wesleyan. Oop. So we're looking at the standings. You can see them here. Pikeville, CIU, Bryan, and Reinhardt. Johnson now has gone down into that second tier with that loss this weekend. So on Tuesday, keep an eye on Reinhardt at CIU. That's a game CIU really, really needs. Pikeville at Johnson. Johnson needs to get this win. Pikeville wants to hold them off. It's turning into a pretty good race in the Appalachian. Chicagoland's down this year. I don't need anybody to throw rocks at me, but they are. This is all this is timeout. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry about that, everybody. So here are the games on Saturday. St. X won. No real surprises. Indiana Northwest is having a good season, and IU South Bend is doing better. They had a really tough preseason, but they're doing well right now. So IU Northwest has 3-0. St. X is 3-0, and St. Francis is 3-1. And look out, Indiana South Bend is coming up behind them. So we'll have to keep an eye as that Chicagoland starts to take shape in the next week or two. In the HBCU conference, a few games this weekend. You can see these were league games. Fisk won, Wilberforce, William Carey, but that was, no, that was not. There were some of these were non-conference. So Stillman and Tougaloo are still with 0 losses. Wilberforce and Talladega. Here's the games this weekend. All of them are non-conference. Tougaloo's going to play Freed Hardeman. That ought to be a pretty good game. But the only conference game is Oakwood is at Rust. Wow, did I bury you in a lot of games. But, man, there was a lot going on over the weekend. I hope it helps going through, kind of touching on the conferences. It'll get easier when the 4 or 5 more games get going in these conferences. I like everybody who listens to me knows I really like to follow the conference races. So I really appreciate you listening, and thanks again to Dougie Peoples and all the guys at Oregon Tech for giving me time after the game, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.